All right, day 2 of NAMM. I'm gonna be a camera person again, maybe. I did some camera personing yesterday, and that was cool and very awkward for me, but I did it, and maybe I'll do a little more. But I've been getting more into the talks this year, so maybe I'll just tell you about the talks a little bit in some voiceover with some random photos or something. I don't know. Day 2, we'll see how it goes. Yesterday I got to meet Sylvia Massey, and that was awesome. I was so excited. Right, AJ?
Yeah.
I lost it. I couldn't control myself. I was too excited. I was really nervous, and I'm like never nervous to meet the male engineers for some reason, but I'm really nervous. I don't know. I'm usually pretty nervous to meet another female engineer that I look up to, but like Sylvia Massey is like the one that I look up to the most, so I was super nervous. But it was awesome. She was really nice, and now I'm in a tunnel. Anyway, day 2, let's see what happens. That's my story. I'm tired. Okay, bye. So I went to one of the talks that I went to was all about using AI in music, and I thought that was really interesting. So there were a few guys that talked during this. It was like a panel-based thing. So the CEO of Digitrax talked about the Music Builder, which is at themusicbuilder.com, and that's an actual AI music composer, and I thought it was pretty interesting, so you can check that out if you're interested in it. And after that, someone from Amper Music talked about how their project is all about augmented intelligence. So the big difference for them was that they're making tools that aren't supposed to be replacing people, but are instead supposed to be used in conjunction with a person or an artist, right? So their tool I thought was pretty cool. It's score.ampermusic.com, and basically it lets you create short chunks of music for like film projects. So basically you go to their website and you tell the AI how long you want the chunk of music to be that it generates, and then you can pick a bunch of different variables for it, you know, like mood and tone and genre and stuff like that, and it'll create a short chunk of music for you. It generates this music, this file for you, and then you can see it on their website. So it generates like this SoundCloud style waveform for you to see. So there's the start of it, and then there are a few markers. So what happens is there's a start, there's a fade in, and then there's the first marker to indicate where the fade in ends. And then there's like a peak excitement point for the music as well. And so that's another marker. And then there's another marker that's the fade out start. So yeah, so you can tweak the parameters, make it how you like it, and then when you have it how you like it, you can then download the audio file for the song, or you can download like a stem or multi-track version of it so that you can then bring those into your DAW and continue to work on it. And the coolest part about it, I think, is that multi-track or stem download option. Because like for me, for example, a lot of my work involves helping people to replace their sounds and make them sound more fresh and interesting and better, right? So a lot of it's textural work, and I love doing that. And I just thought it'd be a really cool exercise at some point to just have this thing generate some music for me and then bring it into my DAW and replace like all the sounds and maybe rearrange some of the arrangement. But yeah, so that's what I thought was cool about it. But yeah, you can check it out at score.ampermusic.com. And then there's a guy from Lander, and he was talking about how Lander actually is AI run, which I didn't know. So I thought that was really interesting. And he said that some people are actually putting individual instruments through Lander instead of waiting until the end of the process and putting a whole track through for mastering. So I thought that was a really interesting idea and thing to know about. So people are putting whole instruments through. Some film people are putting like all of one category of sound effect through. I thought that was really cool. And I thought it was a really interesting way to use it. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. And then the other thing that I found interesting from the Lander section of this talk is when he was talking about how they feed the AI, how they feed it data. And he said that they try their best to have a diverse group of mastering engineers that will all engineer the same exact track and then feed that into the machine learning for Lander to learn how to master better. So I thought that was really cool and interesting to know that they do have this, you know, group of mastering engineers that are feeding it information. But yeah. And so the last guy in this talk, he wasn't quite as on topic with the audio and music stuff, but he's done a whole range of stuff with the AI community and with programming software stuff. And he was really impressive. Like he's worked with the Hyperloop stuff with Elon Musk and all sorts of companies. And basically what I thought was really interesting about this guy's section of the talk is that he said that he started to work with Avid on making a conversational bot that's actually going to help you control Pro Tools with your voice. So I thought that was really cool. So that's basically Saturday. So the only thing that I almost forgot to tell you guys is that I also got some footage of the Hearback guys talking about the Hearback systems. So I'll put that in here if it's at all intelligible. So one thing that they did tell me off camera when I told them that I have one of the older Hearback systems is they did say that if you have that old retired version of the Hearback, it can actually use parts from the Hearback Octo. So it's very easy to maintain and repair your old retired Hearback if you do have an older one. And that's the Hearback Octo, is like the one that looks almost the same as the retired version, except it's like flatter and sleeker looking. So that's different from the Hearback Pro, which is the one that they're talking about for the most part in the clip that I got.
I'm Nason Tackett with Hear Technologies here at NAMM 2019, where we're actually showing the new firmware for the Hearback Pro system. So this system's been out for about 3 years now. What we did was we came up with an update based on suggestions from the users. They wanted to see some more channel capability, as well as the ability to customize each mixer. So what we now have, instead of just 16 channels, we have the ability to assign any channel to any knob. A knob can be a mono channel, a stereo channel, or it can actually be a submix of up to 16 different things on that single knob. So now every mixer can kind of be set up independent, and you can go up to 128 channels if you want to. So we really made some big changes, and the way you do this can be done from the mixer. You can actually hold preset and spin a knob, and that will let you edit what is on that knob. You can pick a channel. These now indicate what bank you're on, 1 through 16, 17 through 24, 17 through 32, and so on. Right now we only have 32 channels available because we have one hub. This is a lot easier actually on the app though. So the app basically allows you to see all your mixers. When you choose one, you can take control, and on each knob you actually have a drop down that'll let you pick what channel is assigned to that knob. Or you can even pick a submix, and I don't think I have any saved right now, but the submix could be like drum submix, all your maybe 8 channels of mics already pre-mixed, and the pan set up and the stereo width already set up. And you can always go back, and the musician can edit that either from the app or from the mixer. They could go ahead and get things set up for that knob, save it. Now this one knob is controlling that whole submix. If they wanted to ever go in and make changes, they could always go back in and adjust that mix. So that's the new features with the what we call the version 5 firmware for the Hearback Pro.
Awesome. Thank you. So on Sunday, I just went to a whole bunch of talks, so I don't have a lot of photos and videos. And now I'm realizing that Sunday was almost all marketing talks. So let me know if you guys are interested in that separate video about the marketing stuff. I'll tell you kind of which talks I went to on Sunday here. Let's see. So first I went to Ari Herstand's talk, and I might be mispronouncing his name. If I did, I'm really sorry. But if you're not familiar with him, then you should definitely check him out. He's got a blog, Ari's Take. He's super well known in the music industry. He's got a lot of great advice. He kind of shares his knowledge as he learns things and as he goes. But anyway, I went to his talk talking about marketing and how to find your audience and educating fans and how to win them over and stuff like that. And that was a really good talk. He had a bunch of guests come on, and then they talked about things that they've learned through their experiences and their process. And it was just a good talk. I'm not going to go into too much detail because if you guys are interested in the marketing stuff, I will make another video. Just let me know. And then I went to Dan Schinder's talk, and again, I'm really sorry if I'm mispronouncing names. So he's the founder of Drum Talk TV, which if you're into drumming and you're not familiar with, you should definitely check it out. But he learned a lot about social media and marketing through his experience with Drum Talk TV, and so he shared a lot of that info, and it was a really good talk. So then I went to Matt Steyer's Mind Over Music talk, and he actually works as a career coach. So it was not so much the technical audio stuff or the social media and marketing stuff that a lot of the other talks that I went to were, but he gave a lot of advice that was emotion-based advice, that was really good stuff. I didn't take as many notes during this though, since it wasn't as much on the technical side. But I think the biggest takeaway from his talk was if you want to improve your career and you want to move forward to appreciate where you are and appreciate what you have with where you are instead of focusing on what's wrong with where you are in your career. Instead, to think about what you do want and think about that positive, what you do want in the future type of idea. Because a lot of people will focus on, oh, you know, my boss is shitty or whatever. And so it really seemed like his thesis was that you should not focus on the negatives about where you are in your career, but instead focus on the positives about where you want to be. So it was really great advice. It was a good talk. He also talked about how he works with his clients to close the gap between their talent level and their success level, because those two are very independent factors in someone's lives. So he was talking about how he works to close that gap for people. And then I went to Laura B. Whitmore's video marketing panel, and it was a really great panel. They had some great people on the panel. They had a lot of great advice, but it was video marketing. So it was all like social media and video marketing. So I'll put the details on that in a different video if you guys want to hear about the marketing stuff. And so after that, I went to the last talk for the day for me. And that was how to monetize your music in film and TV. And it was a good talk. And there are points where I felt like the whole panel was kind of just an advertisement for the World Song Network, but there was still some great information in there. So for example, they were talking about how film people are looking for artists that have ownership over their song rights and have ownership of their master recording. So they were talking about how the industry is saturated with libraries and with people that don't own both. So if you can own both, then that is a good thing. They also talked about the World Song Network, right? But they were talking about how they're not so much a library, but instead they're representing artists. So even though as a panel, they didn't seem like they were very into music libraries as a thing, they did say that it's very important to have your music somewhere where it can be vetted by someone. So somewhere like the World Song Network, right? And they talked about how that's because that saves time for music supervisors who are then looking for songs, to have a network like that where they can go to, know that the songs have been vetted by someone already, curated, so to speak. And it just saves them time. So then it gives you an advantage because they're going to want to go to those places where the music has been vetted. And then they were also talking about how signing your music into a big label, so somewhere like Warner Chappell, isn't necessarily the right way to go. And they were saying how that's because it makes it more expensive for someone to pick your song for a film. So it makes total sense, very logical. A lot of what they said in this panel was very logical. But it's good to know, you know, it's like if you don't think of it, then if someone doesn't tell you, how do you know? But yeah, they were saying that signing your music into a label like Warner Chappell isn't necessarily the right thing because it's more expensive for people to pick you, but it works for some people. So it's not like a one size fits all kind of thing. But just they were saying, you know, if you have the opportunity to sign to a big label like that, to think about it first. So that's basically it. I just went through all my notes. I hope you guys don't mind if I had to put like a still up here while I was talking about something for a really long time. I felt kind of self-conscious walking around taking GoPro footage constantly. So I might be kind of lacking in the video and photo department. So yeah, I hope you guys found some of this interesting and useful. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And also let me know if you want to see a whole video on the social media and marketing stuff that I learned. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see that type of topic for a video. I could see it being useful if, you know, you manage an artist or if you are an artist yourself. It's good information for pretty much anyone nowadays anyway. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see that. But yeah, if you liked this video, please tell your friends about my channel or watch my other videos or check out my Patreon, like and subscribe, and I'll be coming out with new videos every Wednesday. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. Okay.